Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Reda, and I'm a Senior Product Manager here at GitLab. Today, I want to walk you through how you can streamline software development by integrating requirements, testing, and development workflows using the GitLab platform. I'm going to show you how you can use GitLab issues and epics to integrate and optimize requirements, test cases, and development workflows. On the agenda today, I'm going to cover the basics of workflow integration. I'm going to show you some specific practices for managing requirements and test cases. And I'm also going to discuss how you can optimize your team workflows to ensure quality, efficiency, and collaboration. We know that you need to ensure that every piece of work aligns with strategic goals, meets the highest quality standards, and can adapt swiftly to new opportunities and challenges. This is how you can build software that not only meets, but exceeds expectations, ensuring satisfaction. Let's dive into how GitLab can empower you and your team to deliver secure and reliable software through our integrated workflows. Starting a project without a clear understanding of its requirements is like setting sail without a compass. As the first step in the software development lifecycle involves capturing every project requirement, you can use GitLab issues to create a collaborative environment where requirements are not just listed, but become the foundation of everything you build. This ensures that your project is aligned with your goals right from the start and that every team member knows exactly what needs to be done. Here I'm showing you a GitLab issue that's using something that we call scoped labels. Scope labels in GitLab are incredibly versatile. They enable the ability to categorize, prioritize, and streamline workflows, ensuring that your data is organized and accessible across the platform. You can filter on labels into listing pages and boards, and you can also create data segments in boards as well. I want to dive a little bit further into the power of scope labels. These aren't just tags, they're a tool for managing workflows. Here you can see an issue board specifically scoped to requirements. Notice how I've organized the columns by status. This format can be replaced with any label series you create to power workflow like team member assignment and triage workflows. Requirements are not just a standalone step in the SDLC, but instead a continuous thread that runs through the development process. By using GitLab's platform, specifically issues, you can link these requirements to development tasks, merge requests, and even test cases, establishing a robust framework for traceability. This doesn't just ensure that development efforts meet current requirements, it also creates a forum for ongoing collaboration between teams. GitLab champions collaboration by allowing records, be it requirements, test cases, development tasks, to have them all be linked, creating a network of interdependencies that is transparent and accessible to all involved parties. Imagine a scenario where your development team is implementing a new feature. As they link their work back to the original requirements, your QA team is simultaneously preparing cases, which in turn link back to both the requirements and the development tasks. Let's talk about test management. By centralizing test management within the GitLab platform, you not only gain clarity and control, but also the ability to create a traceability chain. Test sessions can be directly linked to the specific development work and requirements they relate to, ensuring that nothing gets overlooked and that every test contributes to the overall project objectives. Additionally, GitLab offers flexibility in how you manage your test architecture. While we have the capability to create an in-depth test management structure like you see on the image that I provided here, complete with test suites, test cases, test plans, and test sessions, you can also choose to focus solely on test sessions if that suits your organization's scale and complexity. This adaptability is what makes GitLab issues an ideal solution for projects of all sizes. Notice here how we have test plans and test suites as the parent of test cases and test sessions. These parent records can utilize the GitLab epic structure to create a nested hierarchy of related records. You can then use a lateral relationship to identify relationships between test sessions and test cases. I'm going to show you more about this live in GitLab at the end of this walkthrough. Within each test session, individual test steps can be documented and marked with a pass or fail utilizing GitLab tasks. This granular level of detail contributes to a holistic view of the session success. Beyond traceability, GitLab's ability to link records allows you to create a narrative of your testing journey. Linking test sessions with requirements and the test cases they execute, you can establish a two-way street of information. Not only can you trace from a requirement to a test case and then to its execution, but you can also navigate from a test case to see every instance where it has been executed, along with the status of pass or fail. This powerful feature provides you with a historical and real-time view of your testing landscape. Maintaining consistency across numerous projects and teams can be challenging. That's where issue templates come into play. They act as blueprints for creating new issues, including requirements and testing records, which means your teams don't have to start from scratch every time. Imagine the ease with which new team members can adapt and the uniformity with which cross-functional teams can operate when every requirement, test case, or development task starts from a common foundation. This isn't just about efficiency, though. It's also about embedding the company standards into team workflows. In any project, having a clear and accessible outline is like having a roadmap for success. GitLab's epics provide this by allowing you to link directly to the work being done, be it development, requirements, or testing. As an alternative, our wiki feature offers a different kind of value. They are libraries of your project details where you can create detailed tables and charts, providing stakeholders with visual insights that go beyond numbers and lists. While wikis currently lack the linking and collaboration features of epics, they are evolving soon. They'll offer the same level of interactivity, making them an even more integral part of the GitLab platform. Now I'd like to dive into a live demo here to kind of show you each of these topics in a little bit more depth. So let me go ahead and change my screens. All right. So we're going to get started here with requirements. I had mentioned, this is a little too wide, sorry. I had mentioned that requirements are an easy way to not only list, but define here we go, sorry about that. Not only list, but define the acceptance, the description of the requirement and the acceptance criteria. In an issue, you can indicate who is the DRI of the requirement, if there is a parent to the requirement, perhaps if you want to create a library of requirements for different functional areas, you can create a related epic for kind of containerizing all of those requirements. And then we have labels. And so I mentioned in the slideshow that you can create labels. They're extensible. You can create them for anything that you'd like. So in this case, I have a status label, I have a record type label, I have requirement specific labels, so requirement status and requirement type. In these cases, you can easily add labels that have been defined at your group or your project by selecting here, or create a new one right here off of the UI page. Other features I'd like to demonstrate are the ability to create child items. So if you wanted to break this requirement down into steps, you can create tasks for each of those steps. And you have the ability to link items. Now, all of these items I have as relates to, but you can add different types of relationships like blocks and blocked by. In this case, I've related 2 development work items here to this particular requirement. And I have related 6 test cases to this requirement, which are related to this. Here, I'd like to show you the collaboration that is available on all records, issues, tasks, and epics. So you can see here that the developer in this example is working on a specific piece of work and has a question for specifics related to some standards. And the tester was able to respond and provide more information. So this is the level of collaboration that you can expect in GitLab. When somebody is mentioned in a comment, they receive what we call a to-do, which will show up in their to-do list. And they will also receive an email notification. Let's say you're not part of the conversation, but you kind of want to watch it. You can always toggle notifications, and then you will be alerted of changes. The other thing that you're going to see in all of the different records is the traceability here in terms of change history. So every time there's an event on the record, it is documented in activity. So you can see that I added these labels. If I were to remove one, then we will see an updated right here, removed the complete label just now. When I relate something, it's going to tell me that it's been related. If I mentioned it in another issue, it will show me that. And we even have version history. So if I were to create a change on the description of the record, and again, this goes for all records that I'm going to show you, not just requirements, we will then see a change in the description with the difference that you're able to view, whether it's been added, it's highlighted in green, or if something's been removed, it will be highlighted in red. This is the type of visibility that I think is important for our compliance frameworks that, again, you're going to find in all of our issue and epic and task records. So let's go ahead and dive into test management. So let me move this over. Whoops. And here we are with a test record. This is a test suite. And if you remember that image that I showed you, I created pretty much the full hierarchy where we have test suites, which are a collection of functional tests, and that is the parent. And I kind of use the file cabinet icon here to help you visualize that this is a container of test cases. And the test cases are the actual steps in which the testers will need to execute the test. Now, here I've just loosely created a description here, but you could very easily create a table of steps. We have the ability to create steps using tables using Markdown. We have this additional little helper here if you want to use that. And in descriptions of all these records, we have a really nice rich text editor. So if you want to create a table, you simply select it like in other places. You go ahead and type, and then you can create your table of steps. Another way that you can add steps for a test case is by using the child items and creating tasks. So you can easily create a step one and list that information. And then continue to fill that out with additional steps. You have all of the same metadata available to you in the steps. So having assignee, labels, weight, dates, linked items, a description, and the collaboration tools as well. Here in the test case, something that I would like to highlight is the ability to relate to the test session that this is going to execute. So let me back up just a minute. For test suite and test cases, we expect those to be long living records. Those are reusable records that you will use every time you are updating a functional area or a feature. When it comes to test sessions, this is the actual kind of short-lived, once in time execution of the tests during the development cycle. So now I have gotten to this test session directly from that test case because it is related to this one. This test session gives me information like what we're trying to, what objectives we're trying to achieve, the test cases that you have to execute, some information about the plan, and so forth. Underneath, we have child tasks, which is essentially the execution of each of the related test cases. Now, at this level, I can add the pass or fail directly to the that test step. And notice one thing I haven't highlighted is that scoped labels, we have regular labels and scoped labels. Scoped labels Allow the user to choose a single value. It will never allow you to use more than one value. You know that it's a scope label by this little kind of separation of the pill, whereas if I have something like this, it's a single, there's no separation. That is something that could have a conflicting or different value along with that label. So here I can write whether the test passed or failed using the label. I can identify, what might need to be followed up on. I can ping the developer. In another, here we go. In another issue, there was a blocker, so I indicated that, and I removed the block status once the blocker was cleared and added the pass. And again, you can see this traceability or event management, change management here in the activity feed along with the comment. I had one that was, here we go. So in this case, this hypothetical test originally failed. And in this case, the tester created a defect which was related to this test, explaining what occurred and notified the developer. The developer resolved it. And then once it was resolved, the tester reran the test and finally marked it as passed and indicated the steps. So here you can see there's so much functionality here that allows you to have the visibility, to have collaboration and the traceability into your entire requirements and test management workflows, which are integrated with your development workflows. Okay, next I want to demonstrate and I already showed you that development. Let me just go back to that development. Here, where is it? Here it is. Here's one. Okay, so this is a development issue, which is basically implementing some kind of encryption against one of the requirements. And you can see when the developer dives into this, not only does the person have ample information that's been added, but the developer can dive into the actual requirement that it's related to. They can dive into the test session that it will be tested against. And so this provides easy access to information. They don't have to guess or hunt and peck or walk around to desks to ask people for information. This information is readily available. There's another piece of development in flight that's related to this requirement. So knowing that your coworker is working on something similar is also super visible. Once all of the tests pass against this particular dev piece of dev work, the tester has added the past label here. Now there are workflows and automations that you can create to automatically apply these labels once things happen. Or if you don't require that kind of additional complication, you can do that manually. But what's nice about this is if you don't have a pass status, for example, on the label, any MRs that this developer might submit to merge for changes to code could be blocked if you haven't passed that value onto the MR. So again, we have a lot of compliance and security features here to keep your code safe. I want to talk about these formats that you've seen. So you've seen kind of the summary in the test session. You saw a pretty complete looking format here as well. This is something that I mentioned in the slideshow that your people don't have to create every time they come into GitLab, because you can create something that we call a description template. All you have to do is add a file to the GitLab templates folder in your repo, and you can create whatever template that you would like, which includes things like actioning on labels or assignees, and automatically creating those quick actions when the issue is created. So let me give you a quick sample of how you can create a new issue from a template. You simply, in the creation step, choose the template from the list, and it automatically fills out that information for you. All right, I wanted to show you the project overview, which we talked about briefly in the demo. This is the version using an epic. So what I like about using an epic, as I mentioned, is you have things like labels, you have collaboration tools, right? You have that change history, you have the ability to link and create children. So that's a really powerful tool. You can do what you see in the description here, you can do that using Wiki. But what you don't have is the metadata and you don't have the collaboration and linking. So depending upon your workflow needs, if you just want a repository of information that doesn't need to be linked out or have different metadata attributes, Wiki is the tool for you. If you're looking for a little bit more robust workflow features, epics are probably the tool for you. Again, wikis are a very high priority for us in terms of development and feature enrichment. So you should be seeing the collaboration and linking coming soon. All right. Lastly, I want to show you boards. So in this case, I'm on a board, which is we have lists. We call these columns lists created by assignee. And so this would be a nice board to look at when you're having a team meeting or a one-on-one to just ask folks, you know, what's the status of something. You can easily reassign things by dragging and dropping. So this is really a view for maybe a team lead or a manager. Whereas if you wanted to see a development view, if you want to see a development view, you want to see what's in flight, you can look by workflow status. Or even if you wanted to look at maybe requirements by status, you could do that here. Really, whatever workflow you need to enable, you can power by labels, and then you can easily create these lists by labels and those values. All right, well, that is all I wanted to show you today. If you have any questions, I'm going to drop my GitLab handle in the description of this video. So please mention me on issues or epics with questions, and I look forward to engaging with you. Have a great day.